What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised.
Riverdale has become a wildly, unexpectedly successful series based on the characters of the classic Archie Comics series. The show had a bit of a rocky start, being pitched to several television networks, being picked up, and then ultimately making its way to the CW. Originally airing in 2017, the show follows the life and times of Archie Andrews in the small town of Riverdale. The town appears innocent and peaceful on the surface, but Archie and the gang soon uncover the town's darkest secrets that end up costing a few townsfolk their lives. The series is currently scheduled for the 5th season, which is expected to air sometime in 2020. Though, throughout the series, there have been some extremely tragic moments that many of the actors have had to live through in the real world, apart from their on-screen persona. To begin, back in September of 2017, KJ Apa, who plays Archie, was in a traumatic car accident after he had been filming for over 16 hours in a single day. This crash led many members of the cast and crew to request major changes in the show's production to ensure the safety of the cast members. Following the crash, SAG-AFTRA went as far as launching an official investigation to determine if the show was truly to blame for KJ's wreck. According to rescue personnel who appeared at the scene of the crash, KJ appeared to have been unharmed, but he was rushed to a nearby hospital for observation regardless. He was discharged a short while later without any serious injuries, but he had managed to total his car beyond repair. Dispatchers stated that he claims to have fallen asleep at the wheel while driving 45 minutes home. He then crashed his car into a light pole. Many of the cast members were understanding regarding the reasons why some bouts of filming require extremely long workdays. At times, there simply aren't enough resources available to shut down filming and continue the next day. Because of this, workdays that exceed 12 hours of filming are quite common. According to Cole Sprouse, who plays Jughead, he had planned to ride home with KJ on the night of the crash, but decided to make other arrangements at the last minute. This was a life-saving decision for him, because the passenger area of KJ's car was completely mangled after the crash. Cole was the one to step up and request that the show provide transportation for its actors after shooting had ended for the day. Following the incident, SAG-AFTRA released a statement claiming that they were extremely concerned about the crash and the circumstances that led up to it. They sent a team to Vancouver to investigate the issue, but there doesn't appear to have been anything substantial to gain from this. WTV, the producers of the show, later commented and informed the public that actors have always had the opportunity to request a taxi or a hotel after a long day of filming. It remains unclear why KJ didn't accept the studio's offer. Luke Perry's death. Back in March of 2019, Luke Perry, who played Archie's dad, passed away unexpectedly at the age of 52. Luke was a critically acclaimed actor who appeared in several hit television shows, including Beverly Hills 90210. Before his passing, he had appeared in around 100 television shows and movies, with Riverdale being one of his most popular since 90210. In late February 2019, Luke was rushed to the ER after he appeared to have suffered a serious stroke. He was still alert and aware at the time of arrival, but his state quickly diminished. On March 4th, his family finally agreed to remove him from life support. His son spoke out about his late father and stated, quote, "He was a lot of things to a lot of people. To me, he was always Dad. He loved and supported me in everything and inspired me to be the best that I could be. I've learned so much from you, and my heart is broken thinking about everything you won't be here for. I'll miss you every day that I walk this earth. I love you, Dad." Cole Sprouse was the first of the Riverdale cast to speak out about Luke's passing. The two appear to have been quite close before his death, with Cole stating, quote, "We're recovering. It's not the easiest thing to talk about, but he was well loved, and there's been an outpouring of emotional support from people around the world. I know that his family requested privacy during this period, and I respect that." Luke had several health issues that caused him not to have a single stroke, but multiple strokes during his time in the hospital. It would have been possible for him to recover from the initial stroke that landed him in the ER, but as time passed, his situation grew worse. He was ultimately buried near his family farm in Tennessee. He had reportedly lived on the farm since 1995, having moved there shortly after he and his wife married. Following his death, a documentary was released, known as Luke Perry in His Own Words. The season 4 premiere of Riverdale was also dedicated to him, with all following episodes of the season also being dedicated to his memory. Hart Denton car crash. This entry may almost seem like deja vu, but we assure you that it is an entirely separate occurrence. Hart Denton played Chick Cooper in season 2 of Riverdale and was involved in a car crash in late 2018. He posted an image of the crash to Instagram, stating, quote, "I had never been in a car crash before. Life immediately feels different." The crash took place while Hart was in the back seat of an Uber while in traffic. The image he posted to Instagram appears to have now been removed, but it depicted a red vehicle that had a severely damaged front end and likely caused injuries to the occupants. Hart never mentioned if he was harmed during the crash, but he appears to have made it out just fine. He says that the crash took place on the 101, adding that everyone should give someone a hug and kiss because consciousness is a precious thing. There was a major outpouring of support for his 1.5 million followers, with many of them sending their best wishes to him. He hasn't mentioned much about the crash since the original post, but we hope he was able to work through the traumatic experience and rediscover peace in his life. KJ Appa's broken hand. KJ Appa had quite the eventful 2017, and this next post revolves around him once again. While filming season 1, KJ says that he broke his hand while filming a scene in which Archie punches through ice. Though, as it would turn out, KJ never even told his supporting actors about the accident. He states that he didn't even find out for himself until 20 minutes after the injury had taken place. He mentioned in an interview that those few days on set were quite difficult. He says that he wasn't technically punching ice in the scene, but he was punching a foam mat that had been placed on top of the ice. However, he seems to have gotten a bit too emotional during the scene and managed to punch with such force and anger that he broke a bone in his hand. Regardless of his broken hand, he continued to film the episode and completed the season without hesitation. He took to Twitter later on and claimed that he was extremely proud of the episode, barely mentioning the fact that he broke his hand while filming it. Cole Sprouse. Childhood troubles with acting. Cole Sprouse is someone who has appeared in more television shows and movies than we can count, but he got his first major role in the hit television series Friends back in the 1990s. He played a relatively small role as Ben, Ross's young son, after his character was allegedly killed off the series. According to Cole, he began starring in the wildly successful Disney Channel series The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. In this series, he played the role of Cody Martin alongside his twin brother who played Zack. He starred in this series for several years, later returning to his role in the 2008 spin-off series The Sweet Life on Deck. However, it hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows for Cole. In a recent interview, he spoke out against many of the hardships that he faced growing up as a child actor. Many of us believe that growing up in the spotlight would be quite easy, as you would have constant access to anything you could need. However, for Cole, living the dream occasionally meant living a nightmare. Cole stated that, due to the success of The Sweet Life, many viewers believed that he and his brother only ever starred in roles when they were side by side, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. There were times throughout his childhood when he and his brother would be separated for weeks or months at a time. He stated that the two were all over the map, filming music videos, TV shows, films, and even direct-to-DVD films, and had no contact with one another. He says that the two were seen together on Blockbuster shelves, but they were often not seen together in real life. Cole states that his brother doesn't appear alongside him on television anymore, but that he makes an effort to speak with him at least once a day. He added that he is glad that the two of them found their paths in life, because living in the shadow of your twin is quite difficult to accomplish when you advance in age. Cole spoke out against his time at Disney, stating that he worked with the company for 9 years. He says that this was one of the most difficult moments of his life and caused him to be hesitant about continuing his career as an actor. He says that Disney keeps its stars so close to home that he began to forget what life was like apart from Disney. Leaving the company to pursue further endeavors was extremely difficult for him because, up until that moment, all of his acting endeavors were handled for him. He stated that, for the most part, he didn't have much of a decision about what roles he appeared in. Most of his career decisions were made by management, and he did little more than show up and play a role. He says that he is happy now that he has broken away from the company and forged his path, even if that meant no longer acting alongside his brother.